and welcome to this special episode of Headline Canada. Today we have a very special guest with us, the Mayor of Brampton, Linda Jaffrey, who is also running for her second term as a Mayor of Brampton in upcoming municipal elections, which is going to be held on October 22nd of this year. Hello Mayor, very warm welcome to PTC Punjabi.
Nice to be back.
It's a pleasure. We would like to know, you are serving Canadians since 2003. Tell us about your journey, how it has been so far.
Well, actually, I started serving in 1991 because I was a municipal councillor before I was a provincial representative. I would say it's been a really interesting opportunity for me, a challenge. I learned a lot of new skills, but at the end of the day, all I did was represent Brampton. You know, when I was an alderman at the beginning of my term, I learned how to deal with municipal issues. I learned how to deal with recreation, fire services, and then when I became a provincial member, it became a very different job. You know, I was working on healthcare, education, transit. When I first ran provincially, we were dealing with the fact that we only had one hospital. Peel Memorial was the only hospital in Brampton, and at that time, you know, we were a big city that we almost all had to leave our city in order to get services. So that's what I fought for, and now we have Brampton Civic, Peel Memorial, and Erin Oak Kids. So it's very exciting that way to get things done, to be part of a government that got things for a high-growth city like Brampton. And now I'm back at the City of Brampton. In the last 3.5 years, been working to change the culture in City Hall, to make it more transparent, more accountable, to do things differently. It's not status quo. I was here to disrupt what was going on, to do things differently, and I think I've achieved that. And one of my most proudest achievements is, of course, Ryerson University coming to Brampton.
Yes, yes, we look forward to the university, and we'll definitely come to that issue as well.
Yes.
You were first elected in 2014 as a Mayor of Brampton, and now you're running for the second term.
Yes.
How do you see this race with other 6 candidates?
Well, I think, you know, my opponents will do everything to attack my record, but I think what I am most proud of is my record. One of the first things I did was lower my salary by $50,000, and not just once, but all 4 years of my mandate. And I think that the residents understood that I was serious about getting to the bottom of our finances, to do things better, to spend money properly, to put it into our infrastructure, whether it's recreation centers, whether it's fire halls, whether it's our roads. People tell me these are issues that they want. They also want more business. They want more jobs going forward. They want to have a place that they're proud of. And I think that's what I've been able to do. I brought the provincial auditor to the table and brought him to a place where he could look at our finances to make them stronger, more accountable. And now we're getting awards. As a city, we are finally setting the bar very high to do things differently. And I hear from residents almost every day how much they like where we're going as a city, how proud they are of what we're able to accomplish, and how they can see the difference in the city. So it's going to be a fun election.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think of Patrick Brown running this race?
You know, this election has got a number of different opponents, whether it's Mr. Brown or Mr. Spovieri or Mr. Balgosal. They're individuals who have political experience. I'm happy to put my record up against them anytime. I have been somebody who's worked in the City of Brampton and lived here since 1983. I think it really helps to know your community well. I think residents want someone who spends time in the community, who gives back from a volunteer perspective, and that's what I've done. I've stepped up when things were difficult. I've stood up for my community. I've been an advocate. Most recently in the last year about healthcare, challenged the Liberal government at the time about what healthcare dollars they were putting into our community. I've stood up for better dollars going into our police services. And in my case, I was able to convince the chief to put additional money in, so now we have 37 additional frontline officers, and maybe we need more. But I am prepared to stand up and fight for our community, to speak the truth to power, to make sure that our federal and provincial governments work with us to build bridges. That's important. And I believe that I've demonstrated I am that kind of person who can put politics aside and speak for Brampton.
Absolutely. But let's come to some of the major issues in Brampton. We definitely see that there is still a long wait times in the hospital. Yeah. But now what's going on with the third hospital in Brampton?
So that's a conversation we're going to have with the electorate and certainly with our provincial counterparts. I'm of the opinion that we have a lot of houses here and our emergency rooms are filled. Our emergency room in Brampton Civic was designed for 180 people a day. We normally see about 400 a day. That's far exceeding what the plan was for that emergency room. We haven't seen any additional dollars come to Peel Memorial, and we are only on phase 1. I think we need to accelerate phase 2 and phase 3. We as a city are going to set aside lands for that third hospital, but I'm not predisposed to build any more subdivisions until I get a commitment from the provincial government that they're going to properly fund our existing healthcare facilities before we get to the third hospital. I know people want to rush to that decision, but I am prepared to freeze development, slow it down, whatever it takes, because my residents deserve better service, more timely service in that setting. And I think we need people to stand up and say that, and I'm prepared to do that.
Absolutely. And if you talk about the LRT issue, which is another major issue in the city, which came as a huge hope, but we don't see any outcome yet. Do you think it's ever going to get solved? In
the last election, we had a big decision as a council. We were offered 100% funding by the provincial government, and it became a 5-6 decision. So one member of council essentially stopped that happening. We currently have approval up to Steeles Avenue. I don't know what this provincial government is going to do, so I'm heading to AMO, which is the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, this Sunday. I will be going with a couple of my council members to talk to the provincial government. I hope to see the Premier. I know I will be seeing a number of his ministers. Luckily, they're people I used to work with in the legislature, people that I had a good working relationship with when I was minister. So I'm going to talk to them about transit. I'm going to talk to them about the university. I'm going to talk to them about healthcare, a number of really important issues for our city. We need some certainty going forward what the province is going to do. I know that Premier Ford is talking about transit in Toronto, and I know transit in Toronto is important. But for me, Brampton is the center of my universe, and I need to get some certainty going forward. The fact that we didn't approve an LRT in our downtown doesn't take away from the fact that we need transportation. We need more transportation in our downtown. When Ryerson opens, they plan to open with 3,000 students. So 3,000 to 5,000 students could be coming into our downtown by 2020. How am I going to get them in and around my downtown, along with all of the other individuals that will be coming to support that student base? So we as a city need to get some conversations accelerated with the province about what kind of transit we're going to offer. We as a city grew by 18% ridership last year. That's unheard of across Canada. To have double-digit increase in your transit is very unusual. So it's something that we're going to have to work on as a council, and this new council is going to have to grapple with it soon after being sworn into office. Mayor, you go out probably every weekend. You talk to Brampton residents. You talk a lot. What are the issues, what are the concerns that people, residents of Brampton, are bringing to you? I would say for the last few months, you know what? I get invited to people's weddings, I get invited to their bots, I get invited to backyard barbecues. I'm really lucky. People want to share their families and their concerns and their businesses, what they're doing and how they're investing in Brampton. I'm really lucky that way. But what I would say this past summer, crime. Crime has been the big issue, the safety of the community. They relate to me, you know, the long waits they have if they call the police, their concerns about where we're investing. So I bring those concerns because I'm a member of the Police Services Board. In fact, I'm the only mayor sitting at that table. I bring that to Chief Evans, and she has gone out over the last summer based on my pushing of her to go out and talk to people, because when I tell them what the police are doing, it's different than when the chief tells them. And so I think that, you know, she's a trusted messenger. She's someone that the public want to hear from. So I would say some of the videos that people are seeing, they ask me about those, they ask me what the police are doing. So I talk about crime. The other thing that I hear from people is taxes, you know, affordability of life, what they see as being unaffordable on a going forward basis for their children, for their grandchildren. They're very excited about the university, want to talk about that. And I would say the last few months I've been hearing a lot about car insurance. So I am going to be talking to Minister Fedeli when I'm in Ottawa about car insurance. The last government really wasn't able to make a big difference to move the bar down because my residents are not being treated fairly. We are paying far too much for car insurance. It's a provincial responsibility. They could make a huge decision that would really make life much more affordable for my drivers, because it shouldn't be based on your postal code. It should be based on your driving record and what you're able to do in the car. You know, if you are a good driver, you should be paying good rates. So I'm going to be talking to Minister Fedeli about that. But those are probably the top issues. Healthcare always comes up. You know, if somebody's had someone who's gone to the hospital, what their experience was, if it was good or bad, I want to hear about it, because it's my job to be their advocate.
Absolutely. We'll continue this conversation, but right after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We have in conversation with us the Mayor of Brampton, Linda Jeffrey. Mayor, let's talk about the university issue as well.
Yep.
The university was supposed to come in 2019. It was supposed to open in 2019. Correct me if I'm wrong. But now I think I've heard that it's going to open in 2020. So is that the exact year when students can actually get enrolled in the university and the building will be open to them?
What we're doing right now as a city is we're signing a memorandum of understanding with Ryerson and Sheridan, because they're the partners. They're talking about a building opening in 2020. That was always the plan. I would like to accelerate some of those classes in maybe some city space prior to 2020, because I see the need. We're talking about a Centre for Cybersecurity Excellence. The only other place in Canada is in New Brunswick. So if we can get those classes started here early, and some of those programs already exist in Sheridan, they're just going to build on them and grow them with Ryerson and with some of our business partners. So I think that there's an opportunity to accelerate that opportunity for classroom experience earlier. But we as a city are going to be working to build a library in our downtown, a center for innovation that will complement the space offered by Ryerson University. So we're eager. I wish we had done this years ago, but again, the city was unable to put together a successful application till this term. And I'm going to be talking with the new Minister of Education, colleges down in Ottawa when I go this weekend to talk about what their plans are for Ryerson University, making sure that they're still at the table, because remember, it was a different government that made the deal with us, and I want to make sure they're still at the table, that they're still serious about making sure that my residents have post-secondary education in the form of Ryerson University soon.
In past months, we have heard a lot of incidents, violence incidents, crime incidents. What is city doing to combat the escalating gang violence in the city?
So I heard a few months ago, actually probably a year ago, I started to hear that there were problems in the community, and I went to the chief and talked to her about increasing her budget that we talked about in the first segment. But we also as a city needed to engage better with the police. So one of the first things we did was put together a group of people that sit with Sheridan, the police, and the municipality, talking about the student base, how to get them more acclimatized to coming to live in the city of Brampton when they're coming to school. So that's one piece where there's a committee that meets and talks about it. But we as a city and your audience all have a role in community safety. So we actually have a community safety plan that we've put together that is going to bring all the players in, whether it's post-secondary education, whether it's the schools, whether it's the police, whether it's the healthcare system. All of us play a role, municipalities included, the region, to make sure that we talk to each other on a regular basis, so that when things happen, we already know who to call, how to bring those services together. We as a city are actually going to go out, and your listeners and viewers will see this in the future. We're going to do neighborhood audits. The police used to do something called CPTED, Crime Prevention Through Environmental Design. Used to go out to neighborhoods and say, you know, that light burned out, so this is a dark area, it's unsafe. How can we shape these bushes so that you can see who's behind them? It makes people feel safer, and we as a community and as a city are going to be going out, talking to the neighborhoods to say, what can we do to make you feel safer? Is it pushing back the shrubbery? Is it putting better lighting in? Is it making sure you know who your neighbors are? Because that's what we used to do.
Yes.
We've grown very quickly. We're not having those conversations. But a safe street makes a safe city. If everybody's talking to each other, whether it's having neighborhood barbecues or looking out for each other's kids as they play soccer on the street or hockey, we get to know each other, and then we know when something's not normal. And we say, you know, my neighbor's car doesn't look like that, and it's in their driveway. I wonder who's there. You know, those nosy neighbors are a good thing. They protect us, they take care of us, and that's part of making sure that a city is safe. So we're going to be working to bring all of those players together. We're doing it at the region, we're doing it at the city, and you'll hear more about it in the coming months.
We look forward to it. And Mayor, as I mentioned in my first question, that you have been serving Canadians since 2003. As per your experience, where do you see Brampton in the next 5 or 10 years?
You know, I think Brampton is on the cusp of something really incredible and exciting. It's a city that's grown. So growth can be challenging, but it can also be exciting and it can be fun. I have companies come in to see me every single day who want to invest in Brampton. So I joked about this in the last election campaign. I talked about I wanted on a Friday, Saturday night for people to say, be sitting around with their friends and their families to say, hey, let's do something fun. Let's go to Brampton. People laughed at me a few years ago. I'm not so sure they're going to be laughing in the future. We've got some great restaurants opening, some great entertainment venues. We have great athletes. We have a university coming. These are all magnets to bring investment, opportunity, great shopping. I love shopping. And I know I have a lot of ladies in the audience who like shopping too. You want it to be close to home. You want to be proud of your city. We have a lot going on here, a lot of reason to come to Brampton, to invest here, to see it as a great city. And the city of Brampton wants to be their partner. So we have companies from China, from Turkey, from the UAE who want to invest in Brampton. And I think in the coming weeks and months you're going to see that investment flood into the city to change what our city looks like. And I'm very excited.
Yeah, we have a lot of festivals as well.
Oh, yes.
People enjoy it a lot.
The arts and the culture, we have people who are great singers and great dancers. They have friendship and relationships and businesses around the world. You know, Brampton's strength is its diversity. I got a very young population, average age is 35, very diverse, very well educated. That is a winning combination. When I go to New York or San Diego and talk about bringing business here, the talent pool is what sells it. I never have a problem attracting a business because they can find the employees here. You know, in the last election, people told me Brampton's a sleeping city. People leave here to go to work, they work somewhere else and they come home to sleep. That's not Brampton's future. That's not where we're going. There are going to be as many people coming into Brampton who want to be here, want to be part of the energy, the excitement, the activity. I think it's going to be a great place to be, and you know, people are snapping up pieces of property around Brampton because they see that outside of Toronto, we're along that super innovation corridor between Kitchener-Waterloo and Toronto. That location matters. Our property values are going up. Our investment in business, and with Ryerson, it's going to change the way people look at us, the way they see us, and I'm excited.
Absolutely, and it's a big accomplishment, big achievement, and I think Brampton got the university in your term. If elected again, what will you do that will make another difference in Brampton?
I think I need to keep going. I just need to keep doing what we're doing. The Ryerson University is not a done deal. It's the beginning of a post-secondary institution that will transform our city. And we have a lot of Ryerson graduates already here, but I think any community that sees how well they do when a university comes to town, it has huge impacts. So I think building that university brand will help bring other community investments, and we have lots of businesses that want to come here. So building more business, I think the more community investment we have in commercial industrial, the lower the property taxes. So I know a lot of your viewers would like their property taxes to go down, but we won't be able to do that overnight, but building more business, commercial industrial, good jobs, good investment will help build a city that we're all proud to call home, and I look forward to it because, you know, I have children and grandchildren who I want to have stay in Brampton, grow a business in Brampton, and be proud to say they're from this city.
Yeah, I think every youth will be proud to say that I am from Brampton once the university is here. Yes. And a lot of families, a lot of youngsters are looking forward to it. And now in the end, do you want to request or say anything to our viewers? for the elections, the municipal elections, why they should vote you once again.
So I want to thank all of your viewers for their past support. You know, I was really lucky to be elected with a very high, strong mandate going forward into the election. I'd like to have that strong mandate again. I believe I've earned your trust. I will work hard, as I have before, to continue to do, I'll treat your money as if it's my own. And to bring a university was a big accomplishment. I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you for your support. And I look forward to working on further projects to build a stronger Brampton, and I believe we can do it together. So on October 21st, I seek your support. You have 4 votes, and when you go to vote, make sure, I'd like to have a team working with me in this term of council that is willing to try new things, to think outside the box, and to build a stronger, healthier, proud Brampton going forward together. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. It was really a pleasure talking to you, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.